Alright guys, so here we are with the helmet, and there is the mesh that I made earlier. So we're just going to see if we can fit this in here and see what it looks like. And as you can see, it's just square. That's just how I made it. I think I'm probably going to trim it up so it doesn't take up as much room, so it lays a little bit flatter, and so it fits in there a little bit nicer. And so we'll just go ahead and do that now. Alright, and with some magic of editing, there we have it. My pre-cut piece, or not pre-cut, the piece I just cut. And you can see I kind of like sculpted it to fit the contours of the helmet, to fit the lines so that it's not sticking out because it can't possibly poke me, all that kind of stuff. This is made out of actual wire when I made this. So it's not like plastic mesh or anything. It's actual wire metal. So we're just going to go ahead and tack it down now that I got it all trimmed up and it covers the teeth nicely. I have the little slot cut out for the visor, and let's just go and tack it in here with some hot glue and get it secured down there. Alright, there it is, all glued in. I cleaned up some of the strings off the hot glue, and so now we have it. So let's flip it around here, and we'll see what it looks like. You can kind of see the mesh there a little bit. Let me make some room here on the workbench and slide some stuff around. And we'll look at the teeth, at the mesh real quick, and there we have it. You can see it in there. Hopefully that is good enough to pass. I'll see when I take my helmet in for approval, to see if there's enough mesh in there. But for now, we're going to work on the respirators. If I need to change the mesh later, I will. You can see this little groove I put in there. I did that with a Dremel, so they kind of like lock in there and hold nice and tight with some bite. And I just did that so I can run some hot glue on there and slide them right in. And I am going to hot glue them for now, because if you look here, I'll pull out one of the ones that it actually came with. This is the air respirators that it came with, and that's the animated style, because it's just like a cartoon and it's drawn. But I don't like the way those look. I want it to look a little bit more realistic and cooler looking, because I just think that looks way cooler. But that's why I'm going to hot glue them on there. So if I take it for approval and they want me to switch it back to make it look more like an animated style, then I can, and it's just hot glue, and I'll just snap them off and put the other ones on there. So we'll just go ahead and hot glue these in, and we'll see what it looks like when we're done. Alright, there we are, all finished, got them all glued on. Let's go ahead and set it down here and see what it looks like. Right, so that's pretty good. You can see a little bit of the mesh there in the teeth, and the air respirators down there. So I think I'm going to make some room here so we can spin this a little bit, and let's put the back on and see what kind of a difference that makes. So we'll snap the back right on here and turn it back around, and you'll see without the back being open, with it being dark in there in the shadows, you can't really see the mesh anymore in the teeth. So that's good. You can't really tell how big the holes are, how small the holes are, so I'm happy with that. I think it all looks pretty good. Alright, so here we are. here's the visor. You can see I've already got it kind of taped up a little bit. You see the tape on it there. And it goes in the helmet here. And this is the visor that came with the kit that I bought from Imperial Surplus. It's just a green tinted, there we have it, pretty cool. It's just a green tinted safety visor, probably for like acetylene torches or something like that is what I'm guessing. Yeah, I think for acetylene torches is what you'd use it for. So it's got some spring tension to it because it's already curved and it's a thick hard plastic, so it kind of sits in there really nice and holds it. But you'll see these tape lines that I got here is where I got to cut it. See the cheek right here, it kind of hits it, so I've got that marked with tape. I'm going to have to remove some of that so it can sit lower in the helmet, and right now it's hitting the cheek. I got to do that on both sides, and then you'll see the blue tape on the sides for where the visor ends, because you'll see that it bows up too much here towards the end. So I'm just going to make sure that we got it nice and centered. All the marks are where we want them, and then we'll just have to figure out how we're going to cut this, right? So it already comes pre-cut, you'll see here, top to bottom. So the widthways right here is already cut to fit the visor. You just got to get the length right. So those blue lines right there is what we got to cut. So let's just go ahead and start cutting and fitting this in there. Alright guys, so here we go. We're going to fit this in here. I already did cut it, so here's the offcut. The camera messed up while I was recording. Maybe I forgot to hit record, maybe the battery went dead, I don't know. So here's all the offcut pieces, and all I did was, they came from the sides here. You can see where I cut them off, and all I did was take the knife here and score it, and then once I got it scored, I just went and broke it off with the pliers. Actually, later on here, the camera didn't mess up. You'll see here in a little bit me actually doing it. So let's just go ahead and fit this in there, and see what we got so far. I know we're gonna have to trim this up a little bit. If you see here, the two lower corners are hitting the cheek pieces, and it's not laying flat. So we're gonna have to adjust that. See here, right there and right there, it's not laying flat. The corner, see? So that right there, we're gonna have to trim a little bit. So let's get see if we can get the cap off the Sharpie here and do a little bit more marking on these to make a little bit more room for the cheeks. I just kind of guessed before, and just slowly cut. And I just cut a little bit at a time because you can't edit back, and I only have one of these visors that came with the kit. So we're just gonna cut little pieces off at a time until we get it to fit just right. So we got that marked up, so let's pull it out and start trimming on it again. Alright, so let's bring the helmet back in after we trimmed this up, and let's fit it in here one more time and see what we got. So we'll go ahead and squeeze it in here and see if those little trimming that we did helped out any. So we're just going to go ahead, fit it in here, get it centered, and see how it's fitting. And I can already see it's lifting up there a little bit on the sides. So you see that's a lot of give right there on that left side right there. So we're probably going to have to trim that cheek down a little bit more, and I might do the other side as well. So let's just get the Sharpie back here again and make some more marks here, and we're just going to do a rinse and repeat and keep trimming until we get it to fit right. So let's keep at it. let's bring the helmet over here one more time and let's try this again. So we rinsed and repeated a couple times. Like I said, just trim a little bit off at a time till you get it to fit, because you can't add material back on. So let's put it in here this time and see what we got. So we'll center it up here and fit it in, and it's looking not too bad so far. Let's see if we can get it lined up. It looks like it's clear in the cheek pieces now. There's no flex in it. It's not bending up. It's laying flat. I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Well, I think we'll just go with this. Alright, so here's all my offcut and the mess that I made from cutting all that plastic off, and I think we got it to fit pretty good. So here's what it looks like, and now we just got to go ahead and glue this bad boy in there so it stays. So we'll do that next. Alright, so we're just going to glue this down with hot glue, and the reason I'm using hot glue is just in case I ever need to replace the visor later, it will be easier to pop out and change, and it won't be a permanent adhesive. Alright, so now I just want to look and make sure that there's no light gaps in there so that you can't see past any light leaks through the visor. Make sure that it's stuck to the sidewalls really good and light isn't leaking through there anywhere. And once I confirm that and that I don't need to push it down anymore, then we'll just go ahead and keep gluing it down. So let's continue on. Alright guys, here it is, all finished up with everything that we did today. So we got the visor on there, and we did the mesh, and we did the air respirator filter. So there it all is, all done. It's all weathered. You got the rangefinder up there, and we got it all finished. So if you were just looking for a display piece for your collection, then this would be done. Because you can just set this on a shelf and look at it. I'm, however, going to actually wear it and use it for my 501st costume. So stay tuned for the next episode. Hit that subscribe button, and we will make it a little bit more comfortable and put some padding on the inside. So I hope you guys like it. Hope you enjoy. Check out some of the other videos, and I will see you next time.